So today is Wednesday, January 15th, and I got laid off on Monday. It just sucks. Like, I know you guys, like, I don't even have the words for it. It just sucks when literally your, like, dream job, your dream field, your dream industry, dream company, like, just lays you off. Like, I just feel so dumb. And, like, the fact that I was almost going to be moving back up to LA in a couple months for this job is crazy. But honestly, thank God, like, the timing that it did, at least, where I didn't move yet, so that's good. I'm just like, what do I do next? Which way do I want to go? Where do I want to go now with my career and with my life? Like, do I just want to take a gap year and just, like, do a working holiday in Australia? Honestly, I've been thinking about that. Do I want to go right away and get another 9 to 5? Should I start taking YouTube so much more seriously even with my 15 subscribers? Like, what do I do? I don't know. Like, this was supposed to be a lifelong career with this company. Like, I was supposed to be there for a long time. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do next. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. You know, luckily I have an emergency fund, so thank God for that, but, you know, that's gonna eventually run out, and so it's like, what should I do then? Luckily I'm not paying rent, I still live at home, so I don't have to worry about that, thank God. Everything happens for a reason. Rejection is just redirection, so I know that looking back, this was supposed to happen for a reason, and something better is gonna come along. We'll see. Hey guys, so it is now like a month later. Today is what day? Friday, February 21st. A lot to digest. Still unemployed. Sorry, I just, like, a coping mechanism of mine is to try to, like, laugh things off or, like, make them seem not as important as they actually are. So, like, I just can't help but, like, laugh or, like, smile, which is, like, the opposite of what I should be doing, but it's a coping mechanism, which, you know, probably isn't the best. But yeah, I don't want you guys to, like, think that I'm just, like, messing around and laughing just to laugh. I think in, like, situations where I feel uncomfortable, it's just how I react and how I cope. But yeah, no, I'm laughing, but, like, inside I'm, like, crying. But yeah, so it's been a month later, still unemployed. I guess I just looked through, like, the footage from when I had originally got laid off, like, last month, and I'm just very fortunate and privileged, I want to say first, that I'm not in a position where I'm super stressed or, like, need to scramble to find a new job. I would say there's 3 things that are contributing to that. One, I do have, like, an adequate emergency fund, so I know I can pull money from there if I need, and that will last me, like, 6 months probably. Maybe even a little bit more if I'm, like, really, like, tight and frugal before it runs out. And then even after that, I can deplete some of my, like, investments or anything if I need and turn it into, like, liquid assets. That would obviously be like a last resort. So I'm thankful that, you know, I have that kind of squirreled away where I can use that. Second, I'm extremely privileged in that I am still living at home. So thankfully I'm not like paying rent or anything. So I'm very grateful for my parents to allow me to live at home still and not pay rent. I think I'd be a lot more stressed and scrambling to find something if I was paying rent, but that is a significant portion of pretty much almost everybody's, you know, budgets or, you know, expenses that they have to pay for. And luckily I'm not in a position right now where I do pay rent. So that is also a very key piece that is leading me to not scramble. And then third, I think at some point I'm able to apply for unemployment since I did get laid off and still like in good standings and things like that, since it was like a business need. I think having at least that little bit of income coming in will be super helpful while I'm looking to find a new job. So honestly, those three things are helping me keep like afloat and keep sane, honestly. I am, you know, currently applying for new jobs and things like that. I had some interviews, which is good. Nothing solidified yet though. I think the most unfortunate part was I got laid off on Monday, and that Friday was when I was flying out from Australia, or to Australia for my vacation. So I tried to, you know, not think about it that much. Like I was still applying while I was on vacation, things like that. But I think it was really unfortunate that, of course, I got laid off right before vacation. But like I said, I'm still grateful and privileged in the fact that, you know, I still was able to take that vacation. I know so many people probably would have had to cancel their plans and, you know, go at a later date or whatever. So I definitely don't want that to come as like tone deaf or anything. I'm definitely in a position where, like financially, where, you know, I'm okay for now, or I don't have to scramble, you know, to find a job immediately. Yeah, I just want to reiterate that because I am very privileged in that sense. So yeah, so I came back now from my vacation. I'm like settling in, trying to figure things out. I'm kind of like in my first clip, I kind of feel a little bit lost in a sense of like this was supposed to be my career. Like this job was supposed to be it, you know what I mean? Like it was like perfect. It was literally my dream job, dream company, dream industry. Like this is what I wanted to do. And the fact that like being rejected in a way, like it, I don't know. Sorry, I just like it just sucks, like how quickly business, like I get that it was a business need and, you know, they gave me the reasons that they did, which is something I'm not gonna like share out, but like it just sucks knowing that how like easily replaceable you are, or like I don't know, like I can't even put it into words. Sorry. I said I wasn't gonna cry. But yeah, I don't, it just, like, just having a job means so much, especially I felt so successful in a way that, you know, I was so proud of what I was doing. You know, I thought it was even a flex to be like, oh, I work for this company, like I work in the beauty industry, like it was my dream, like this was something that I'd wanted to do back. You know, the first thought of having this type of job was when I was like 16 or 17, when people were just trying to figure out what college they wanted to go to. And even then, like before that, at 13, when I started, you know, wearing makeup and getting into like all that stuff, you know, I knew that this was like such a passion of mine. And I think that's the reason why I'm so distraught from it in a way, is because this wasn't just any job, you know. If it was any job, I think maybe it would have been a little bit better, but I think it was because I just held such a tie to this job, to this industry, to the people I worked for. And like I said, I felt so successful, you know, right out of college, getting my dream job. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I'm on the right path, you know. Obviously there was other things to have been worked out, but this was my path, and now it just like makes me question everything. Like, where is my path? Like, I feel lost again. What's the next step I need to take? And I think even then it's like it's so embarrassing because I think I'm gonna still put it out, but literally like 2 weeks before, I had created a video of why, you know, I commute to LA from San Diego or something like that. And like, I was just so dedicated to this job that I drove that far, or would stay in hotels overnight because of how important and how seriously I took this job and this career. And just to now have this happen was just baffling to me. Like, it came at a complete surprise to me. So yeah, that sucks. So like I said, just trying to find my bearings, trying to figure out, you know, what I want to do. I'm definitely just applying to jobs constantly now, just see, you know, what I can get. Probably by the time you guys see this video, it might be a little bit after, just because, I don't know, it's also embarrassing in a way. Like, I think I want to post this when I'm ready to, and I guess when, you know, I feel like I've found, you know, my next steps. So if you're seeing this in April or like May or something like that, maybe March, I don't know. But yeah, it just sucks. Like, and I think I definitely want to make more videos around this topic, but I think feeling lost, feeling out of place now is just kind of comes with the territory. I feel like I even felt this way after I graduated college. I think navigating post-grad, especially the year after you graduate, is such a difficult time, and I definitely think come like April, May, I'm gonna make some videos about that, which honestly might already be out depending on when I post this. But I think that is such a difficult time, and I feel like I'm kind of put back in that place now because of getting laid off and just having to readjust, refine what I'm gonna do, what my next steps are. Because I'm just like, do I wanna, you know, find another job, get another 9 to 5? Do I wanna, you know, take a gap year? Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna do that, but yeah, I don't know. And like, the job market right now sucks. So that's another thing. Especially with like all the current political and economic conditions, like everything's a little bit unstable right now. So I'm just honestly glad that I do have an emergency fund and live at home. So I think I'd be freaking out way more if that wasn't the case. But yeah, wow, I don't know. Just like, I feel like a lot of my self-worth, confidence, I guess, came to, you know, what you do for a living and all that, and now it just feels like a blow in a way. And, you know, a lot of doubt starting to creep in. I think just my next steps, figuring that out, is gonna be difficult. I think, like, if you ask me where I would see myself in 5 years, I don't even know. I don't even know where I'd see myself in a year, because if you asked me 2-3 months ago where I would see myself next year, I could give you a definite answer. And now I have no idea where I see myself in a year. Like, I don't know if I'm still going to be at home, if I'm going to move out, if I'm going to be in the country, out of the country. Like, I actually have no idea. Like, I couldn't even tell you what 6 months from now looks like. And honestly, that's kind of the beauty of life, in a way. Like, you think you have shit under control, and then all of a sudden, nah. No, you don't. God just really is like, yeah, what you think you are gonna get or what you want, yeah, please. It just shows you, like, how quickly the tides can shift in your favor or out of your favor. So, have to be grateful for every single day. It's all in God's plan, and, you know, like I said, everything happens for a reason. at the end of the day. So, you know, rejection is just redirection. Yeah, so I really don't know what's gonna happen, like I said, but just figuring it out one day at a time. I do obviously have a little bit more free time now. Clearly have about 40 more hours in my life to dedicate to whatever. So I think, you know, in my spare time, obviously I'm going to be applying every single day for jobs, but I'm also going to hopefully be able to post more videos and spend more time on that, as well as just like being grounded in, you know, things that I used to enjoy that maybe I stopped for whatever reasons due to being busy, whatever. So I'm trying to pick up reading a little bit more. I'm taking an Italian class this semester actually at a local community college, so I'm definitely going to be a little bit busy with that. So I think those types of things are going to help me kind of, you know, not get myself down during the day, things like that. So definitely glad for that. But as far as, you know, next steps, I'm not sure. Hopefully I can figure something out soon. But yeah, I'm not sure. And sometimes that's just life. As far as my financial videos, like my financial resets and stuff like that, those are definitely going to look a little bit different because I'm not sure income wise, obviously, what that's going to look like, what, you know, what's going to happen there. Yeah, I think a lot of people could probably also relate during this time of uncertainty. I know a lot of other people are getting laid off, and a lot of people are in the same position as me, and so, you know, we're going through the thick of it together, and, you know, we'll get out the other side. Just don't lose hope, I would say. I think once you lose hope, your spirit just gets crushed. If there's will, there's a way. Sometimes, you know, a lot of things aren't in your control, but how you handle the situation, you know, can make a world of difference. If this is something you're also struggling with or just going through, you know, you're not alone. We're going through it together. Just stay hopeful, stay positive. Remind yourself that this is just a minor setback. You know, sometimes you have to take 2 steps backwards to go 5 steps forward. So just wanted to give an update. Yeah, nothing else really much to say. Hopefully by the time you see this video, there'll be something better for me in the works, but who knows? Maybe there won't be. Maybe, you know, it'll take a little bit longer. I'm not sure, but yeah, I just wanted to update you guys because I think it's important to like be real, to be authentic, to share the struggles. Not, you know, everything on social media isn't always a highlight. Sometimes there are down points, and I think it's also important to share struggles and what you're going through because chances are someone else is going through that too, and, you know, to know that you're not alone is half of the battle. So yeah, going through it, but you know, it could be worse. It could be worse. So please give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. I do, you know, do personal finance content, lifestyle, beauty, and travel related content. You'll see some of that and some more happier, upbeat videos. Sometimes things aren't always about the highlights. Sometimes you have to show the real, raw, you know, perspective too, and shit you're going through. So hopefully this, you know, gave you some perspective if you're going through the same thing I am, and if you're not, you know, I'm happy for you. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.